Okay, the fourth part of your job packets is the interview organizer. So you should have a Suzie Smith resume, Suzie Smith cover letter, Suzie Smith envelope, and now we're going to do a Suzie Smith interview organizer. Now you will do all four of those parts for any of the job packets, the employment packets that you're going to do for your final portfolio. The idea behind the interview organizer is that you should be sending out, when doing a job search, you should be sending out anywhere from 5 to 10 resumes a day, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not when you think about it. If you send out one resume and then wait for 3 weeks for that one person to get back to you, and either they never get back to you or you follow up and they say, no, we're not interested, you've just wasted 3 weeks. Versus if you send out between 5 and 10 a day, now you've got things that you can follow up with and be working on. It's a numbers game. The numbers game is the more you send out, the more likely you're going to find somebody, a company that you and they mesh, and you will end up with a job. So to fill out an interview organizer, now this is a form, so that all you have to do is complete each one of the little sections. So the employer, while it says employer, this is not referring to a person, this is referring to the company. So let's continue with, on the envelope, Suzie was writing to Mr. Sterner here at the high school. So the employer would be Biglerville High School. Again, you should be completing an interview organizer along with me that you will then submit via StudyWiz. Okay, if you tab between the fields, it'll move you down. So the contact would be Mr. Richard Sterner. Let's see, I'm going to go over here. The address is 161 North Main Street. Okay, so street. Let's see, it's in Biglerville, PA 17307. Now you want to have all this information in case it gets separated from your cover letter. That way you know where your resume was sent, who is the contact, what the address is. And if you don't have the cover letter, if that gets lost, then you don't know what that information is. Also, you would use the interview organizer prior to sending out your resume and cover letter to find out who is the contact, what is the phone number, what is all of this stuff. And if you have a job posting, a one ad that you're looking at, you would be able to list what the major requirements are for that. So let's come back up here. The telephone, we'll just do 717. Actually, let me put parentheses on that. Okay, so it's 717-677-7191. Fax number, we were not able to find. Job title means Mr. Sterner's job title, the contact's job title. So in this case, he's the high school principal, which I realize is different from the envelope, but they should be the same, but I didn't think about it when I was doing this last time. The next one is position number. This really is what's the job title that you are applying for. In this case, Suzie is applying for. So we remember from the resume that we're looking for an executive secretary position. And then you would type in the job description here. So it's an assistant to the, and because this is for you, you can write in some abbreviations. Now you're going to have to be careful with your spacing. So manage calendar, maybe, actually that would be a duty. No, manage. So manage principal's calendar. Okay, so we're going to come back up here. When you do these employment packets, even though it says telephone interview, the only thing that I'm looking for you to fill out is the interview date and time. So let's say we have a interview on 12/12 of 11 at 11 o'clock a.m. Then you can come down here and say requirements. They want a high school diploma. Then over here, you would show how, for your notes again, you would show how you meet those requirements. So, diploma earned June of 2011. All right. Let's say Suzie graduated last year, so it's past tense. Major requirement would be, so beyond a high school diploma, she also needs to be organized. So maybe she coordinated senior class trip. So you have to be organized to do that, and we'll just kind of leave it at that. If you had additional information that you would want to talk about, you would put that here. Then on the second page, if we take a quick look at this, it says list the key goals that you want to accomplish during the interview, like important questions you want to ask, strengths that you want to stress, or liabilities that may have to be handled. And if you put them down here, then you can review them, think about them before you go into the interview. You're not going to bring an interview organizer with you into the interview, but you could sit in the car and review some of this stuff so it's fresh in your brain. So in that first interview, you would list things that she would list things that she wants to talk about or bring up, like she was class president. She has worked at the family business for 8 years and things like that. Okay, again, on this side, you would put the interview date and time. So it was 12/12 of 11 at 11 o'clock, a.m. The location would be 162. We'll just put, because you've got the data or the actual address on the front. I can't spell today. Big Lurville High School. Main office. The interviewer or interviewers, which would be Mr. Richard Sterner. And his phone number is area code 717-677-7191. Okay, so after we have all of this, you would select which one, after the interview is over and you go back out to your car, you go home, you want to keep track of how the interview went. So if you think it went very well, you write very well. And then why or why not. What impressed you? So down here, you would type in what you were impressed by. I don't know, friendly staff. So what kind of questions do you have? Well, you don't know what the pay scale is. Maybe you want to know about your work hours. Always after an interview, always send a thank you. So the interview was on 12/12, so you really should send it that day. And your next follow-up, you'll follow up roughly a week later, so 12, the 19th. Okay, so 12/19 of 11. So now you've been granted a second interview. So the second interview, you would take what you have here, the questions remaining, and you would want to make sure one of your goals, your top 2 goals, would be your questions remaining. So the first question we're going to ask about is pay scale. Second question we have, or topic we want to talk about, are work hours. And maybe you want to inquire about the medical plan, otherwise known as benefits. Okay, when is this interview, the second interview? Well, this is going to be on 12/21 of 11, right before Christmas, at 9 a.m. Location, again, VHS main office. Who are you going to interview with? Okay, we're going to talk to Mr. Sterner again. We're also going to be talking with the superintendent. Mr. Eschbach. And again, the phone number is, 717-677-7191. Okay, and then after the interview, then you would click on here. So this went very well again. Impressed by, and you would put in whatever impressed you, and you need to come up with some stuff to put in here. Thank you note should be sent that same day, so 12/21/11. Next follow-up would be like a week later, but now you're in the middle of Christmas, New Year's, and all that. So we'll say 1/5/12. So then, lo and behold, they call you. They want to offer you a job. So you need to make a decision by. So we'll just say they're looking for a decision by 5/10. Accept the offer, yes or no. So we're going to say yes. And if you accept, you need to put dates here on when you would notify all these other people. And then down here, what's your start date? Well, they want you to start on let's make it February 1st. And any comments and any notes that you would have. So that is how you would complete an interview organizer. And I apologize for having my show hide buttons on that whole time. I just turned them off so now you can see what a completed one would look like without all the clutter of the tabs and all of that. Okay, so save this as Suzie, your Suzie Smith interview organizer, and submit it via StudyWiz.